What's up, everybody? This is Justin Wong, and you are listening to the Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova podcast.
Alright, and welcome everyone to another episode of Hawaii's #1 podcast, #1 podcast in the state of Hawaii, the Kasanova podcast. I'm your host, Mikhail Kasanova, Hawaii's favorite YouTuber, back at you with another slamming interview. And this time, this one's going to slap real hard. This is going to be one of the best interviews you've ever heard on this podcast or anywhere else. I've got with me the one, the only, the legendary, the phenomenal Justin Wong, J Wong, Triple G, on the Kasanova podcast. And in this one, we're going to talk about a bunch of things, from the FGC, the business side of it, being a professional FGC player and gamer, balancing work and family life, and traveling a lot, and much, much more. So if you're ready to do it, I'm ready to do it. Let's go ahead and welcome Justin Wong onto the show. Alright, and welcome everyone to another episode of Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova podcast. I'm your host, Mikhail Kasanova, and I got here today the one, the only, the legendary Justin Wong. Justin, go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Tell everyone who you are, where they can find you, and what you got coming up in the future.
My name is Justin Wong. I play fighting games for a living, and I don't know. I never really am pretty good at telling people of who I am and everything. I guess people can find me on Twitter at jwong3gs. But yeah, usually people know me as like a person that's really good at fighting games and does very well at tournaments. I've been playing for like over 17 years now. So yeah, I guess I would say I'm pretty old at this point.
Nah, man, not a day over 25. What you talking about?
I still get carded though, you know?
Isn't it like the struggle, like when you still get carded? Like I do too. Like if I go out somewhere, they're like, "Sir, can I see your ID?" And I'm like, "Yo, I'm 30. I'm over 30." And they're like, "No, I need to see your ID." It's crazy. But
yeah,
dude,
I don't mind it. It makes me feel like, damn, okay, I got the fountain of youth in me.
But yeah, man, like what are some upcoming projects that you're working on?
Upcoming projects, I would say nothing really at the moment, just focusing on the YouTube grind, getting ready for the tournament season soon, and, trying to see what 2019 really has to offer in terms of in the gaming space.
True. And you're working on the upcoming Power Rangers game too. You're working with them on that.
Yeah, I'm helping them balance the game out, the Power Rangers game, and then I'm also helping like a bunch of other companies out balancing their game. It's just one of those really cool things that you would never think that you're able to do at first, because you always wonder, hey man, like how do you get into like just the industry and like working on a game or making a game or like balancing a game. So they kind of just hit me up because of like just my long resume of playing in competitive video games for such a long time. So maybe they believe that I can offer something that their QA department cannot offer when it comes to like game balancing or looking for bugs. And I would say I'm pretty good at stuff like that because I worked at NVIDIA as a senior software engineer for like 2.5 years. So it's one of those things that I would say I'm good at breaking things that should not be breaking, or I'm good at like finding things where like it's a bad user case scenario, for example.
Awesome, man. It's awesome. You get the background. That's phenomenal. Man, and especially like in today's day and age, and I think you and I come from like the same generation where it's like we grew up with the arcades, we grew up with gaming as it progressed from the pixelization to where it is now, the 3D, the super realistic style, and it's something. A lot of the things that we're able to do now, I feel like as kids we never would have thought that's possible.
Yeah, it's pretty cool if you were born in like the 80s, for example, and you're up to here in 2019, then you kind of see both ends of the spectrum of like how gaming was first like kind of like formed in terms of arcades going to console, and now internet being such a big thing, everyone's streaming, everyone's posting their videos on their gameplay on YouTube. It kind of went from like this evolution, right, of just like, yeah, video games was like this really not cool thing. If you play video games back in the day, you're a nerd.
Yep.
To now, like, everyone is playing video game, right? Everyone is like into gaming culture. You see so many people wearing like gaming brands or gaming clothes and like outside on the street now. So it's like one of those things where like the fact that we are the people that are like older now, right? Like the younger generations are obviously going to be exposed to more like popular video games, popular titles, right? So now it's like, yeah, gaming is kind of like taking over.
And it's kind of crazy too. Like I remember back when, and not only gaming, I remember when anime, like if you were in anime, that was considered not cool. And I think a lot of the younger generation, probably the ones that were born in like 98 or 2000 and onward, growing up now, they grew up in an era where it's, you know, it's ingrained in the culture. It's the common thing. But I remember those days when it's like, no, you're like you said, like you're considered a nerd for enjoying gaming and for enjoying anime. And I remember the days of going to like the arcade when you had, that's how you labbed, like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, anime is obviously super popular now, but like, yeah, I mean, I used to go to like the like Chinatown and go to like a random like anime store and then like buy like bootleg VHS tapes to watch like next episode of Dragon Ball Z, for example, right?
Right.
So I had those, and then I mean, back in the day, we had some really good shows on TV, man. Like really, really good like cartoons.
Yeah.
Very good sitcoms. I would say now it's kind of like gone.
Yeah.
It's more like serious shows, more like suspense shows. You know, more like those Netflix special shows. Those are the kind of shows that are really popular in like, I would say, America now. But like overall, like anime in general is taking over definitely like everywhere around the world.
Yeah, definitely, man. But I want to ask you, like, what has been like, you know, since you've been in the FGC or you've been playing fighting games for so long, like, what has been your experience, like, being involved with, like, the professional fighting game scene over the years?
I mean, I was thinking about it, like, recently the other day where, like, man, like, used to travel to tournaments taking, like, a Greyhound bus, like, 16-hour Greyhound bus from New York to Chicago. And like just to go play in like this Marvel's Capcom 2 tournament where like first place was like $500. Like, damn, like that is some dedication for some little money, right? But I mean, I was 15 at the time, so I'm like, to me, that's like a lot of money. So it's one of those things where like, damn, okay, that's pretty cool. But now it's kind of crazy. Obviously, there's so many events throughout the world in terms of just gaming, not just fighting games, where kind of have to fly all over to play, you know, collect like, let's say, qualifying points, and then that leads up to the grand finals towards the end of the year. And I think that's kind of, you know, it's like one of those dream come trues where like, damn, like you could play video games for a living, or when people told you, yeah, video games are bad for you, or video games are like will never do anything for you in your life. But now it's like, nah, what are you talking about? Video games is life at the moment.
Yeah. Like you can make a full career out of it, and it's amazing. Like, you know, I was speaking to one, because I work at a hospital. I'm an IT systems analyst, and so one of the ladies that came up to me and she was asking about professional video gaming, because she said she doesn't understand it, and she's probably like, I want to say probably late 30s or 40s, but she said she has a son that, you know, he plays a lot of Apex Legends. He's really good. She was saying, oh, I think he's one of the best in Hawaii, but, you know, he really wants to pursue it, but I think he shouldn't, because I don't think there's a future in gaming. And I'm like, no, in today's age, you can make a career out of anything. If your son is good enough to get, you know, picked up with a sponsor, or if he can get known on a national and a global level, then he could, you know, he could definitely do it. She's like, I don't understand that. I'm like, you don't just have to go to a 9 to 5 anymore. And I think a lot of people don't understand how we've transitioned in this day and age.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like, you can really, really make make a living off of almost anything, right? Like just because like it doesn't have to be gaming. It could just literally be like something super random, right? Like just because, like for example, like ASMR. Like I don't even know how that came about, but like the fact that like there's so much like ASMR and you could just post it that's like on YouTube and then like generate like X amount of views and that can get you paid as well. Like the fact that you could just kind of run that flowchart and like boom, I'm just whispering or getting my dog to eat on a mic and then yeah, let's rake these views and get this YouTube money. You know, like you could literally make money off of anything because of just the internet.
Yeah. Like I recently started looking into like the ASMR stuff because one of my friends is like crazy about it, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And then when I went and saw it, I'm like, the one person I saw, I can't think of her name, but she had this crazy mic set up where it's like a mic on each end, and she just goes to each side. I was like, what the hell is this? And she's got like thousands of viewers, and they're just donating money to it, and I'm like, holy hell! Like literally, like. This is like the perfect. If you want to be an entrepreneur, I think this is like the perfect time.
It is. If you don't want to go work a 9 to 5 and you want to try to make something out of it, all you need is like one trick, one gimmick, and then people will just follow suit.
Yep, that's so true, man. Hey, so I know you're on YouTube and you're on Twitch, like. So how's that going for you? Like I'm subscribed to your YouTube channel, man. I think you make amazing content, but what has your experience been like on those platforms, and what have been some of the challenges and ups and downs that you've had so far?
So I haven't really been streaming on Twitch lately. It's one of those things where it's really hard to be consistent on, like because if you are a pro player, travels a lot or is busy a lot, it's really hard to get that consistent like 6 to 8 hour schedule of streaming on Twitch, right? And it's also very discouraging on Twitch because like let's say you're getting all these subscribers, you know, you have this momentum, but like if you like miss one day like out of the week, and people are just like, oh, I'm done with you, I'm not subscribing, I'm unsubscribing, people are not showing up anymore. So because like you're like literally a slave to the system. That's kind of what I like tell people what Twitch is, because when I used to do Twitch like hardcore, like I got to the point where like I had like over 1,000 subscribers and I'm like, damn, like I'm doing it. But then like I went to a tournament for a weekend and then that's like 2 days or 3 days, and I come home and like 300 subscribers left, and I was like, damn, that's a lot of money that just bounced, right? Because I didn't stream for those 2 to 3 days. So now you have a lot of like players or just like people that do players that play and stream. They're like thinking like, man, do I go to this tournament? Because if I go to this tournament, I'm not gonna have like these subscribers. So like, nah, I'm not gonna go to this tournament. So they become from like they go from like this professional player standpoint into like just a regular streamer. So that's why I kind of like YouTube better, because YouTube, I can like I don't have to commit to like 8 hours a day, right? To like just stay in my computer and have to entertain a whole crowd. Like YouTube videos, you know, you just you can make like 5 minute video, 10 minute video, 20 minute video, and like max that one video will take like 1 hour, right? And then you're not like, you don't have to post a YouTube video every day. Like right now I post 3 videos a week. Like sometimes more if I feel like I just want to like get something out there, but like usually 3 videos a week, and that already is just like so much easier. You save so much time because you can make a YouTube video anywhere. You can make a YouTube video anytime. You don't have to rely on a schedule. So the fact that you don't have to rely on a schedule really helps. Like I could just like bang out like 15 videos a day, and then because I do 3 videos a week, that's 5 weeks worth of videos of putting out, right? So that makes it way much easier to like just kind of like live off compared to like Twitch, where you have to stream every day, 12 to 8, 9 to 5, 10 to 6,
right?
And if you don't, I'm unsubscribing to you. So it's I think it's way tougher on Twitch.
You know, because I've actually been going through that myself. Like, I've been on YouTube probably for the last, I want to say 2.5, almost 3 years. I actually got on it right after I got through my colorectal cancer, I just was like, I'm gonna start doing YouTube videos. I'm gonna start having fun and just having more of a chill life. And so I started doing YouTube. And before, when I started, I was like, I'm a pump out a video every single day, and I'm gonna make this YouTube money. And then after a while, it's like, okay, every single day I'm putting a video out, no one's watching. I'm really burning myself out. So I fall into like the same routine, kind of like you, with like doing maybe 3 videos a week if I feel like it, and it's really fun doing like that. But I started doing I want to say this year I started getting sponsors for my my YouTube channel, for my podcast, and for my streams on Twitch. And so I started doing a sponsored stream. And you're right, man, like people expect you to do stay stuck to your schedule. And I had to do, I think, what is this one JRPG, which was fun, but after a while I'm like, I can't even focus on the game because I've got to dedicate myself to entertaining people. And then, like, if you're not entertaining people, then they're gonna not watch.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you just want to just not talk when you play. Like, if I want to play Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm not trying to like dialogue like the whole game to the stream. I want to play on my own time and grind my own time. No one wants to see you grind for like 5 hours, right? When you're playing an RPG game, you're gonna have to grind for like one of those spots for like 5 to 6 hours so you can be OP and fight the final boss. People are like, nah, you need to play the hardest difficulty. Go right now at level 40. Right. You don't have to be level 80 and tough it out. Die 100 times because we want to see it, right? They want to see the struggle, but I'm like, damn, I don't want to try to struggle. I want to enjoy myself.
Right. Yeah, I ran into that too. Like one time I was streaming Resident Evil 2, like the remake, and people were like, no, you need to play this on the highest difficulty. You need to let Mr. X punch you because X gonna give it to you. I'm like, no. I'm like, can I just enjoy this game? I had this one guy, I was trying to go and solve this puzzle. This person was just like, no, you need to do this. No, you need to do that. And I'm like, chill.
I'm telling you, man, it's not easy for a streamer. It's way harder compared to becoming a YouTuber, in my opinion.
It definitely is, and it's just, I don't know how. Like I guess my wife's good at it because she streams as well, and she's able to just keep talking while she streams. But for me, I can't do it, man.
It's not meant for everybody, I would say.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Like the other thing, like I wanted to bring up, and because I know your father. Congratulations on your new kid, man. Like how do you balance like being a father and a family man, as well as trying to be a professional gamer and professional FCC player and travel? Like that's got to be. I don't know how you do it. I need advice from you.
Well, it hasn't started yet, because the season didn't start yet, and I won't say I barely have played anything. It's one of those things where I'm usually just like answering emails or thinking about like the next YouTube video and just kind of watching gameplay. I would say I watch more gameplay than actual playing gameplay at the moment. So I would say I'm still trying to figure the balance of that out, in my opinion. So it's definitely not easy, but I do feel like because I have the experience from like over the years, I've been playing for a long time, over like 17 years, I would say now, that like I just don't have to practice as much anymore. It's like, obviously I would love to practice, but when it comes to like a game that I already am like really good at, like I don't need to practice as much anymore to get like to the similar results I've been getting for like the last like couple of years.
Okay, sounds good. And, what are some of the things that you're interested in, man? Like, I know we can talk about the FGC stuff all day, but, like, what do you like to do, like, in your free time? Like, what are some things, like maybe the audience may not be aware of?
I mean, I think everyone knows I love anime. Like, I'm a very big fan of anime. Watch a lot. I also like mobile games. Mobile games are just definitely my shit. Just because I travel a lot, and I do think, like, mobile games now, they have found a way to get people to play mobile games because they, in my opinion, they are a form of they're a free form of gambling.
Yeah.
and it's really addicting that way because, like, let's say you're playing Puzzle and Dragons, right? New puzzle. I just reinstalled Puzzle and Dragons the other day because they added a Street Fighter V collaboration in there, and like in order for you to get these characters, you got to pull it from like a gacha machine where it's random, like it's a RNG where you could get a good character or not a good character. So the fact that like I just have to pull this lever and hopefully get this character, and if I don't, I gotta grind the game out to like get like the specifics, like the magic stones, or pay real money to get these magic stones to pull again. So the fact that like that way, that system, it's gambling. So they call it like, it's a gacha game, but I consider it as gambling, and I think that's what makes it really addicting because I mean it's like that pressure in your heart where you're like, oh man, I really hope I get it. That's the same thing as when you're playing a roulette wheel and you're seeing that ball. I'm like, I hope it hits red or I hope it hits black. It's the same concept, the same feeling. That's kind of why I like mobile games a lot.
Yeah, man. Like I hear a lot of people, like a lot of the gaming YouTubers I know, they complain about, mobile gaming isn't real gaming, blah, blah. And I'm like, mobile gaming now has advanced to the point of where it can compete with like a lot of the handhelds, but you have to think about it. Like, and I've told a lot of these, my friends and some casuals and some YouTubers, like, you have to look at mobile gaming as they have to they've got to get some kickback from the games that they create. That's how they're going to thrive. And you're seeing a lot of the aspects of mobile gaming from, the DLC practices and the pay to win that they've infiltrated into mainline gaming. And it's just it's a business practice. Yeah, it can be crappy sometimes since, like EA did with the Battlefront series. But yeah, I definitely agree that it is a method of gambling. But a lot of the games have gotten really, really good. Like I've been playing, I like that you brought up the Puzzles and Dragons. I actually have been playing that. I've been playing a lot of Puzzle Fighter. Been playing a lot of Dragalia Lost. I really enjoy that game. The Fire Emblem, Fire Emblem Fates for mobile. I like that a lot. And I like, what's this other one I'm playing? It's made by the guy who made Chrono Trigger. Another Eden. I'm really enjoying that, and I'm like, man, because I travel a lot too, going between islands and going to different hospitals. So it's like, it's between my phone, because I got the Razer phone and I've got the Switch. So like, gaming on the go is like essential for me, and I think as well for you. Like with all the traveling you do, like you go around the globe, so.
But yeah, I mean, gaming on the go is definitely the way to go for sure. Because I mean, a lot of times you can't really keep yourself occupied. It's like I'm not gonna watch shows on the go, like because like it's one of those things. If I want to watch a show, I'm gonna want to like have like the full experience. Like if it's a 30-minute show, I want the full 30 minutes of just me on a couch or laying down or sitting down. But like at least if we're gaming on the go, I could do like, play this mobile game. 5 minutes is up. I have to go somewhere in 5 minutes. I could just like put it on pause and like resume the game later, right? But like with a show, it's kind of like different because I really want to be into the show. I don't want to forget what happened, and I just want to see like the full aspect of it.
Cool. Yeah, man, I definitely agree with you. And I know you said earlier like you're really into anime. What's your favorite anime of all time, and what's your favorite anime that you're watching now?
Oh man, I think my favorite anime of all time is, it's hard because sometimes I'm just like, I really ride the hype. So like I would say like Code Geass is like my favorite anime of all time, but it could possibly be replaced by Haikyuu, which is like a volleyball anime. So it's like it's like a toss up between those two. But I would say my favorite anime at the moment is probably like The Rising of the Shield Hero.
Oh, dude, I love that show.
It's really good.
It's so controversial too. Like so many people are stuck. Like I've seen so many, I guess you could say like hit pieces saying, "Oh, it's about this, it's about that." And I'm like, yo, that's a minor aspect in the story, like with the princess and everything.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of, that was the twist because like at first when I saw the first episode, I'm like, oh, they're going like it's like a standard like bring like humans into this world, make it kind of like a video game and video game related, like RPG, like SAO, like that. And then but then they changed up where like now like I'm gonna betray you. You have to go through the struggle because usually that male character is like OP, right?
The chosen one.
Yeah, chosen one, and all the girls are like flocked onto him. But like this one's like, nah, like we don't like you. Like you have to like start from literally like struggle and start from the bottom.
Yep.
So they did a really good twist on it.
Yeah, it's really good, man. Like are you watching it dub or sub, or what do you prefer? Sub. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I noticed that Crunchyroll just added the dub version because my wife and she actually got me into the show because she's been reading the manga for a while, and I started watching the show with her. We started watching it in sub, and the next thing you know, like we went to watch, I think it was episode 5 or 6, and it was dubbed, and we were like, oh, okay. And I'm listening, I was like, oh, I know that voice actor. Oh, I'm friends with that guy. I know that. But when it comes to anime, like, are you more of a sub guy or a dub guy?
I'm always more of the sub guy. I don't like dub as much, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of like it's one of those things where I feel like it's the same like actor or actress like all the time, like Christopher Sabat, right? Like Vegeta. The fact that like he's like obviously known as Vegeta, and then but he was also All Might in My Hero Academia. Like like I don't hear All Might. I hear Vegeta. Like so, I think there's not that many like enough, I would say, voice actors when it comes to just English, but Japanese there's so many. And that's kind of what I like more. I like the diversity and the different voices there are.
Yeah, like I agree. Like I feel like when I listen to Johnny Young Bosch, in any role he's playing, he's got a certain style. And the thing is, I only hear 2 characters. It's either Vash the Stampede or I'm hearing Ichigo Kurosaki in everything that he's in. You know.
Yeah, no, it's good. That's kind of what I like about Japanese stuff. Then they also sound cooler when they like go like over the top.
Yeah, definitely, man. They definitely do. The other thing too is when it comes to anime with the sub, I like that they stay true to like the source material. I feel like when they do dubs, a lot of times they take liberties with the story and the writing, and you know, I'm not really a fan of that. I know Funimation, and I know I have a lot of friends with Funimation that watch this podcast or listen to it. Like, no shots are meant to be taken at you guys, but sometimes you guys do take liberties with some stories and push narratives. So stop doing that. Emily Neves, I'm talking to you because you're a writer.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But yeah, man, what are some other things you like to do as well?
Oh man, dude, I'm pretty boring. I would say like
Lies.
I'm pretty. I mean, it's because one of those things like when you're like, I would say so invested into just like your gaming life, and then it's really hard to like kind of branch out to do like other things. Like I would say when I was younger, I used to go bowling with my friends every week, but now I don't do that at all. I'm like trash at bowling now, and like I don't go out as much. Even before I had Harper, I definitely was always about staying at home because I travel so much. The fact that I travel literally so much, like when you're home, you're definitely not trying to go out. I'm definitely just trying to stay home and just like lay down.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, besides that, I mean, I love traveling and trying out like different restaurants, like trying out like the fancy restaurants that I see on YouTube, or like, oh yeah, this is a must go place from like the locals. Like that's kind of like that's kind of like my shit. I like posting pictures like that on Instagram just because like I kind of want to show the people that follow me like this is the world, and like if you guys can't go, I'll
take you
try
there.
I'll try to live it through you guys. It's one of those things. And I would say, yeah, I mean, everything's gaming, anime, food, sleep, like stuff like that, like pretty standard nomad style type of life, caveman style.
You're that monk life.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I would say I don't really have a lot of like other hobbies. Like, I'm always down to do shit, but I'm never like this is what I want to do. I want to go ice skating. I want to go skateboarding. I want to go do this. I want to go hiking. Like, nah, like I never have like that random burst of like I want to do this. Like, if I have nothing to do, then that's what I'm gonna be doing. Nothing, because I want to relax until I have to hop on a plane and do some work.
Yeah, man, I definitely feel you on that. I feel like a lot of people, like, a lot of the younger people, like, I run into, they're like, man, come on, let's go out. Or some of the people I work with at the hospital, like, when it's Friday, they're like, yo, let's go out to a bar, let's go out to a club. And I'm over here like, no, I work 10 to 15 hour days. I'm like, I'm just trying to chill. Especially, it's like you said, man, when you travel a lot, I think people who don't travel often don't realize how much traveling takes it out of you.
Yeah, they don't. Like, they like, people will say, oh yeah, man, like, I don't know why you're tired. All you do is just play video games. I'm like, it's not just because I play video games. It's literally just like, if you fly on a plane and once you get off the plane, you feel like shit. Like, no matter what, you don't feel like how you normally did before you hopped on the plane. You feel like, oh, like something happened, like someone like bothered you or someone annoyed you. Like, you don't feel the same as, like you just woke up and everything. So I hate that feeling, especially if it's a long flight. Like, I feel like shit. Super feel like shit. Like I need a shower right away type of thing. Like, if I'm on a plane for like over like 5 hours, I'm like, I need a shower, because it's like, because you're breathing in that air where everybody else, it's like the same air that's circulating within all the passengers, right? Some might be sick, some might not be healthy, some just might be just coughing and sneezing without covering their mouths. Like you're breathing in that dirty air. So it's trash. So people don't realize that, because they're probably not like jet setters where they travel all the time. They probably do like once or twice a year, to do like family, or go to like like a Comic-Con or like a Evo. But like, man, doing it like 2 times minimum a month, or like sometimes I'll like be traveling like 10 weeks straight. So like, that is just,
insane.
It's hard. It's not easy when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, especially like if you're flying, like one of the things I hate the most when it comes to flying, like if I get stuck next to someone and I'm like just cramped in, and I'm like, oh man, like a lot of times I try to get like a window seat, and a lot of times when I fly, like if I get a window seat, I'm in the back of the plane. I'm like, okay, great, I don't have anyone sitting next to me. The last couple of flights I've actually gone on, because a couple times I've had to fly to Indianapolis for like training, and I'm like, oh my God, like that long of a flight, I'm crossing time zones. The majority of the people leaving Hawaii are sick, or people coming from like other countries, like coming from Australia, Japan, on the same flight as me going to the mainland. They're sick, or like I'm just cramped because I got 2 huge people sitting next to me, and I'm like, yo, give me some room. I'm like the Hodge twins, get the fuck up off me.
I'm telling you, man, that shit ain't easy, man. It's rough.
Oh man, it really is. And then like when you land, it's so funny too. Like one of the times I had to go up to Maryland to kick it with one of my friends, and I went on that long ass flight. And then when I got there, they're like, "Yo, we're gonna go here. We're gonna do this." I'm like, "Nah, B, we're not doing that. I'm getting a shower. I'm going to sleep."
Trying to stay home. What are you talking about?
Oh man, like I swear, I wish more people would travel and understand that aspect of it. And also, like, I wish the younger generation understood that, like, when you get older, you get tired. You don't want to be fucking with nobody after a while.
Yeah, when you do get older, you're definitely not trying to go out. You're definitely trying to stay home. That's for sure.
For real, man. Like, the weekend come, you're like, yeah, I'm chilling. I'm not doing nothing. You're
like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm definitely not part of that life right now.
Oh man. Anyways, man, I know, like, one of the things the audience wanted me to ask was like the business side of being like a professional player. Like, how does that work out? And like, Do you have like a manager, or do you have like an agent or something, or how does the payout system works? Is it as soon as the tournament ends, or is it end of the year? Like, as much if you can go into detail. If not, it's cool. But that's just one of the questions one of the audience out here wanted to know.
I mean, it just depends. Like let's say like last year I was sponsored on Echo Fox, right? So I was on a professional esports team, and they pay you a salary for like the month. So like you get X amount of money that you guys agreed on, and then that cover that that's your salary for like making sure you stay in shape with the game and just like presenting yourself in a professional manner, doing all like these different type of activations for them. If the sponsors like want you to do a video or want to do a social media tweet, stuff like that. So you get paid like that. That's one form of income that you get paid. If you go to a tournament and you obviously do well, like a top 8, then you get paid there after 3 months, because usually Capcom takes around like 3 months to pay you. So that's the income coming in 3 months. If you're streaming the 15th of every month, if you go past $100, you get paid there. That's another form of streaming, another form of money. And there's also gigs where like you can do like sponsored content, where this company wants you to post about like how cool their product is, right? Like they'll pay you there. So there's that. There's also what else? YouTube money, right? And there's also appearance fee, where like in a Comic-Con or like an event wants you to come out to the event to do a panel, or you to play with like their like a kumite with like all the locals, all the people that are coming here to see you. So they pay you there too. So I mean, when it comes to just like once you get to that professional gamer level status, there's a lot of avenues where you can make just a lot of like just side money, side hustle, outside of your like main sponsorship as like on the esports team. So it really depends.
And I like the way you put it that way, because it's similar to like I try to tell like a lot of people that are trying to get into YouTube or trying to go into a lot of professional fields, like you got to have multiple streams of income, and it's really possible to do that. I think a lot of people don't understand how easy it can be. Like you don't want all your eggs in one basket. And and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you've got multiple sources, so you're not dependent upon just one.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not with a team anymore. Like I decided not to go on a team. I wanted to like get my own sponsors, for example. So like if every time I get like a new sponsor to like have and be like boom, like, because when you're on a team, you're like, that's it. Like you can't, that's exclusive contract type of thing, where you can't have other like sponsors sponsoring you, because it could be a conflict of interest with like the current team sponsors, right? But if you're by yourself and you're big enough, you can get your own sponsors where you don't need a team, and you can just kind of like go with that, right? So obviously the more sponsors you can obtain, the more money that you'll be able to potentially get as well too, right? So it's one of those things where, yeah, I mean, I tell people this all the time, like, don't rely just on tournaments to make the money, because what if you just had a bad day, or what if you lose? Like, boom, you're just like, you definitely just technically, quote unquote, work for free. Or you probably lost money while you were trying to work. So it's one of those things where you have to like think about like in the process. So I'm glad that a lot more people are just in the know now, but I'm sure there's many people that still doesn't know, or still really just want to focus on one thing instead of just focusing on many other things. But if you're, I mean, I feel like if you're in this field of gaming or just anything, like when it comes to just like the grind and the hustle of the online world, like you need to have different ways of just making sure that you can eat and provide. Yeah,
you definitely have to. And networking is super essential. Like you never know, you could network with someone and then an opportunity could pop up and they can hit you with a text or DM and be like, hey, you're interested, and you just never know.
Yeah, you never know, for sure. It's one of those things, like you just have you have to go to these parties, like these, like, let's say if you don't want to go to these parties, or you're not a big fan of the party, you kind of have to go to these parties. It's one of those like things where magic usually happens at these parties.
Yeah. And I feel like some of the younger people seem to think that, oh, I don't want to work, so if I just get sponsored by a team, then, I'm set for life. And I think there's a bit of a misunderstanding when it comes to that. Like, it's like, no, it's still more work than just, just playing the game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's definitely more work, but like I said, sometimes people just aren't good at multitasking or they don't know where to start, right? So, I mean, I'm all about just spreading the knowledge, spreading the news. So I've been, every time players come at me with advice, I kind of like give them like that long talk where, you can't just think about just trying to win a tournament. Like if you look at your last year, you didn't do so hot. Like you probably only got like top 8 twice or 3 times, and even then, that's nothing. Like you can make more money working at McDonald's than this shit right here, right? So it's one of those things where you have to think about where you need to like do more.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't realize. A lot of people, oh, you're a professional gamer? Damn, that means you're rich. Like that's what people just have this misconception of. But like everyone has different contracts. Everyone's not the same. This ain't like NBA, NFL, or NHL, MLB. Is like it's nowhere near in terms of like that. Like they get these sports athletes actually get like millions, right? Like like you're crazy if you think that gamers get that much at all. They can make it for sure if they like hustle super hard and are the best. Like if they do content plus they're the best player in the game. Yeah, I could see you making $1 million, but just off of being just a player, yeah, you're not. That's not happening at all.
Yeah. Yep. So, young folks, if you're out there trying to become a professional player or get into esports as a whole, make sure you network, you can multitask. And if you can't, I would also suggest if they can't do that, then they should have someone that they could trust, to do
help them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. It's like one of the things I'm seeing, like with some people I know, I hear that are starting to come up. I've told them like, make sure if you're gonna get someone that's gonna come up with you, make sure they're with you from when you started versus after you've already made a name for yourself. Because at that point, a lot of people are just gonna be trying to catch clout off of your name, and so that's something that. It annoys the hell out of me. I'm like, nah, man, no. If you weren't rocking with me, if you weren't fucking with me prior to I was doing something, no. Like, I'm for real. Like, when I posted up, like, all the different partnerships I've got going on right now, like one with Hori, one with Control Freak. I've got something coming up with Elgato soon. Even with having Rob from Insurgo on to my podcast, I've had people, especially on my Facebook, who don't fuck with me or haven't fucked with me in years, and they're like, yo, we need to catch up. Yo, you need to hook me up with
we
this.
Homies, right?
Right? I'm over here like, that's a weird flex, but all right, I see you. They're like, no, come on, man, hook me up with this. And I'm like, no. Like, they're like, oh, what? How you been? I've been the same. You mean to tell me you only notice when I got stuff? Nah, man, but it's true. Like, people, if you're listening, like, just make sure if you got a circle, keep it small and keep it with people you can trust. Because, man, people will come out the woodwork just to get what you got, even when you ain't where you trying to be.
Yeah. No, I agree with that 100%. That happens all the time. Like, I notice it even just from, like, my circle where I'm just like, damn, like, people, all of a sudden you just asking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, bro, like, do it yourself. Why you gotta rely on myself?
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that how that happens, but I mean, I feel like that's just natural, right? That's just a natural human thing that people have gone through for like over the past years and years and years, right? So it's, I'm pretty sure celebrities get it way worse, like movie stars and everything.
Dude, I can't even imagine being like a famous celebrity like that. Like, I feel like if I was famous, I wouldn't trust nobody. I'd be on the straight. Like, I saw this interview that Logic did a couple years ago, and they're like, "Yo, Logic, how are you able to like, keep your sanity and not be caught up in drama?" He's like, "Yo, I don't fuck with nobody." He's like, I don't even go outside the house. Like, it's just me, my wife, my dog, a couple families. I don't even fuck with a lot of my family, but yeah, I don't fuck with anyone. I was like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. You definitely can't. It's not easy. It's not one of those things where you're just like, okay. Like, you have to really be careful about stuff like that all the time. Dude, which is the hard part.
It's something you can catch a case these days off of anything.
Yep.
But yeah, man, it's crazy. One other things I wanted to ask you too is like, what is your take on the influence of esports and how that's impacting the FGC? Like, do you think there's a divide between esports and FGC, or do you think they're kind of they're intertwining effectively?
Well, I think the main problem is that like I do think it's good for us, like the fact that like esports is growing as a whole, and like more people who are interested, like that's obviously good. It's not like it's not good, right? I would say the only problem is that people just don't like change. Like, they don't like change. So that's why, like, if you compare like other games or other communities to our community, like we are very, very slow. And I would say that's because like the founders or the people that were here since day one, it's godlike that they're still here, but it's one of those things where like they don't understand how to like kind of evolve as well, right? So I would say that's kind of like the big problem with the FGC. I mean, we're slowly getting there, but it's just like I said, people just don't like change, and change is very scary for a lot of people, especially for people that have made things since here from the beginning, that were here since the beginning, that didn't have like all these sponsors or new sponsors that want to get in the beginning, so they were comfortable with what they're used to.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do like esports a lot. It's definitely awesome.
Yeah, I think because one of my friends, he's also a YouTuber and a podcaster, Max Splicer. I know he said that there's a bit of a divide between the grassroots FGC and then the more modern, like streamlined esports FGC. I do feel like there is a bit of a divide, but I mean, you've got companies wanting to come in, seeing that esports is a thing, and I think compared to say 10 years ago, like it's really good when you got more people in, because I feel like you can carve it out and you can change it as you go. I feel like if we're able to finesse our way as we go, it's better versus just saying, hey, we want to just keep this just us. Like, no, if you want to grow, you got to be a little bit more inclusive with companies.
Yeah, that's for sure too. Because I'm hoping things will get better in terms of just like being accepted for more outside entities. I understand why, because there's so many times where a lot of people just want to come in, try to make a quick buck, and then bounce, right? So obviously there's a sour taste in people's mouths, but I think it's one of those things where you kind of have to like be trustful, and then also do research on like how I would say what kind of reputation this potential sponsor has and everything. It's not easy, but I mean, there are people that do want to get in, and because they care and because they just want to understand the space of esports. Because still right now, let's say for a lot of like commercial companies, they don't know anything about it, because I'm pretty sure all like the executives or like the people that's been there for a long time, the old school, so they're probably have that mindset of like video games are bad, video games are not good for you.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the struggles that we have with that. And winding down to the last couple of questions. I know you're busy, man. I don't want to keep you too long, but I got the last couple of questions here. One of the biggest things I wanted to ask you, like, dude, how does it feel knowing that you're considered a legend? That not considered, I mean, you are a legend in the FGC, and like an icon to many with all the majors and stuff that you've won. How does that feel? Like,
I actually never really think about stuff like that. It's just one of those things where I don't know. I'm not very good at like upping myself up, right? As like this player, as this like legend. I know people call me that, and obviously I'm flattered. But it's just like I'm just like one of everybody else, man. Like I just like playing video games. I want to be the best. I want to do everything like as well as I can. Like I don't want to be lazy about it. It's just one of those things where I do feel like anybody could do it. Like if anyone wants to be in my position, they can do it. Because like when I was growing up, I mean, I didn't come out the womb just like knowing how to do like shoryukens and hadoukens or anything. Right?
Lies, we know you did.
I was a complete scrub, like super scrub, like really really bad, right? So it's one of those things where you just have to really just work for it. It's definitely one of those things that's doable. I think gaming is so popular because like obviously when it comes to like reals like sports like NBA, football, like sometimes you're blessed with that build. You're blessed with that talent. You're blessed with just like you're being tall, like you're blessed being just bulky and big, right? But then when it comes to just playing video games, I think anybody could do that. Like anybody could become good at it. Like so, like I'm pretty sure there's like games where like people played where they're just amazing at and for like that genre, but they might not be good at a different genre. But that doesn't mean that you can't play that genre. That just means that you just need to put more time into it to understand why you're like better at this compared to this one, and you could get to that same level, the same mindset. Like I think anyone could play any game and be the best at it if they want to.
Definitely, man, definitely. And when it comes to like what advice would you give to someone who's looking, either to get into fighting games or also who wants to become professional and play competitively? Like, what advice like would you give to them?
I would say work hard. Don't quit school. Don't lose your day job over it. Don't put all your eggs in the baskets for being like, trying to be this professional gamer. Like, just do it because the main reason you did it in the first time. Like, you're having fun, you love it, you just want to do more of it. So it's one of those things where just have fun. Like, because when I first got into it, like I didn't think of anything about it. Like, it's just one of those things where I'm just like, I just want to have fun with it. I just play. I just wanted to play with my friends, be the best, and that's it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And I think that's really important. I think that mindset too can transpire over to like a lot of other things, especially like if, like you and I, we both do YouTube, and, if you do podcasts, I think with anything that you do, so long as you're having fun with it, there's opportunities for you to grow with it, to get better at it. And that energy, because I'm all about a lot of positive energy too. So I feel like if you're having fun, people who are watching or supporting you, they can feed off of that energy, and I think that's really really vital.
Yeah, that's definitely the key. So I just think people just need to understand that. That's it.
And when it comes to fighting games, man, what do you think is the best way to play, pad or stick?
I have always been playing on stick since like the beginning of time, so I'm always gonna say stick no matter what. That's just one of those things.
All right. And I actually transitioned over to using stick last year because I was a pad player for so long, and I don't know if you're familiar with like the FGC scene we have out here in Hawaii with Video Gamers 808. But I reached out to them. I was like, hey, look, I've got this collection of fight sticks. I've got like 9 fight sticks. I don't want them just to be decoration. I want to get better at using, because I've got like so many collector's editions and just standard sticks, and I'm like, these look nice. I have no idea how to use them. They're like, when's the last time you went to an arcade? I'm like, when's the last time we had an arcade out here in Hawaii? Come on now. It's been a minute.
It's been a while. Huh? Yeah, I mean, arcades is definitely not like there anymore. It's sad, but I mean, if you want like arcades, obviously Japan is like the place where arcades still exist all the time. So that's the good thing about it.
Did it ever die off in Japan? I don't think it did.
Definitely did not. It's still alive and kicking very well too.
Why do you think, like here in America, why do you think it died off? Is it because of home consoles getting so much better at everything and being able to play online, or you think it's a cultural shift? Or
well, home console is definitely like the big thing, right? And also like the Japan. So I asked a lot of people about this in Japan, and it's because like the way the living structure works is that their walls are too thin. Right, everyone has like their own apartments. Like not many people own a home, or like don't, or like like if they own a home, it might be like an apartment complex compared to like a house where it's like your own house. There's barely any houses there in like Tokyo or like a major like city area. So a lot of times the walls are thin. So the fact that like if they're playing on joysticks or they're playing games and the volume, like their neighbors can hear it. So the fact that their neighbors can hear it, like it just disrupts like peace. So what people do, and also it's like a lot of times people when they get off work, like they just want to like go to the arcades because that's like where people don't have to bother them. Like that's like their stress reliever, right? So it's pretty hard, I would say, for a lot of people to play at home, especially in Japan. I know even like the best players like Takedo, like he rented out a studio at a place just to play with his friends. Like he doesn't even play at home; he plays at a random studio like that he rented out. Yeah, so it's like one of those things where like playing at home is definitely like not a common thing that people like to do, right? So I would say that's kind of the reason why arcades are just so booming in Japan, because it gives people that want to play games like a place to play. But now in America or just anywhere else around the world, like the place to play is at home. That's all it is, right? So it's really different, I would say.
Yeah, and I think our generation is the last one that got to experience like that transition from like the 80s to the 90s to the early 2000s when hell, we were there for when online gaming became a thing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, it was awesome.
Like I look back on it, like I was like, damn, 99 was like 20 years ago. Really? Like holy shit.
Wow, it was 20 years ago. You're right. I didn't think about it until now. Like that's a long time.
Like I was like, man, I remember when the Dreamcast is out, and then when they had Soul Calibur is better than Arcade Perfect, and I remember Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2, and Capcom vs. SNK, and I'm like, man, it's like I remember the arcade scene because that was something, and I feel like it was a great social gathering. Like back then, I feel like everyone went to the arcades to an extent. You had your fighting games, you had your beat 'em ups, you had your rail shooters.
Yeah.
And it was such a fun social experience, and I just feel like towards the beginning of the millennium, like it just drifted away from that, and I'm like, whoa. But I mean, production values and home console games went significantly up, but man, I miss the arcade days. I'm not gonna lie. We used to have one here at the pool hall, and there we had the Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, we had Gauro Mark of the Wolves, we had Last Blade 2, and it's like I miss how out here we would just go and compete and play and throw our locals there, and then out of nowhere the pool hall is like, nope, we're getting rid of it, now we just have dart machines, and I'm like, oh, that's great. Sure.
No, I mean you're definitely right about that. It's like one of those things where, I mean, I'm just happy where I grew up. Like, I was born in the 80s, and I was able to experience, like, different arcades in New York City, and then now, like, obviously arcades are gone, but I'm able to experience both sides of the spectrum where, like, I'm technically old school, but I'm also still, I would say, young enough where I'm able to play in new school environment, which is pretty awesome, I would say.
What are some of the newer games you're playing, like outside of fighting games? I know you mentioned Kingdom Hearts earlier. What else are you playing or looking forward to that's coming out this year?
I do want to play Kingdom Hearts 3. I haven't played it yet. I want to also play Resident Evil 2 Remake. I mean, it's one of those things, right, that there is a lot of games where I just don't play. That's the problem. Right, it's definitely a lot of times where, like, I have all these games in my house, still wrapped and sealed. Didn't touch. I haven't tried God of War yet, right? I haven't tried like what do you call it? Super Mario Maker. I haven't really played it. Like there's just so many games where like so much popular AA title games where I just haven't had time. And I never played Fortnite. I know Apex Legends is like the new shit now. Haven't played any of that. So it's just like one of those things where I'm just like, damn, like I just these games just sit there, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I mean, I like watching it. I'm down to watch it.
It's funny, like and correct me if I'm wrong if I'm speaking out of turn, but I feel like when we were young, like we never thought we'd have that problem where we don't have time to play a game. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I wish I had more time to play the game. Like, it got to the point where I understand why people say 24 hours is not enough in a day.
It's really not,
right? So, I mean, eventually I'll get around to it. It's one of those things, so we'll see what happens. But I do think like, like it's kind of hard because I'll see these people. Obviously, there's people that's gonna play the game like on the first day, binge play, beat it in day 2, and then you might see specific spoilers on your timeline, and then that will turn off a lot of people off to be like, oh, I don't want to play the game anymore, right? Because it's like I already know the ending, I already know like it happens at like what happens in the middle because of these people, because obviously content is such a big thing and people want to like get those likes, get those retweets on their posts, right? Like so gaming spoilers are there. I don't understand why gaming spoilers are actually a thing because like when a new movie comes out, people don't spoil that. People don't go ham on Avengers. They wait like 2 weeks before saying anything. But when it comes to video games, it's like nah.
Before the game even drops, the spoilers out.
I need to spoil this shit ASAP. I need to tell people. I need to be the first to tell people what happens in this game.
It's crazy, man. Like before a game even comes out, like weeks or a month or 2 months out, the game's spoiled already. I'm like, wow. Like Kingdom Hearts 3, like that game got spoiled back in November or December, and I'm like, yo, the game doesn't even come out until like the end of January. Like it was out there. It was so bad that the creator had to make a PR move, like, please don't watch it. We put so much hard work into it. Like, people have no chill when it comes to like spoiling stuff with games. And it's like literally there are some things I feel like if you don't experience it for that first time, it just ruins it for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's definitely a struggle, I would say. It's definitely a struggle. But I mean it is what it is. That's just kind of how life is at the moment. But I mean I'm hoping I get to play King. Like I love the Kingdom Hearts series, so I think eventually I'll probably play it. But I would say right now I probably don't have time to play it actually.
Okay, all right. And you have it already, or you're looking at possibly picking it up down the road?
I haven't picked it up yet, but I'm gonna pick up the physical copy. I like having like just the game. Like I like having the disc, right? So I just have to just go to like a game store to buy it.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right, man. Last question I have is when will we see you in Hawaii at our local scene with Video Gamers Hawaii 808 on Oahu? And when we gonna see you out here in Hawaii?
I don't know, man. Like, there's not many events in Hawaii in general, but like in terms of like consider like a major or like a pro tour game. But like I mean a lot of times when people do want me to come out to your scenes, like they like I would say the scene usually like flies me out, for example, right? That's kind of like the thing where, oh, like we're not a pro tour event but we really want you to come out here, and then like we'll pay for your flights or hotels, and that's like a common thing that people do, right? That people come up to me or email me about. And I only been to Hawaii once. I've been there in 2009. And right after Evo 2009, and to be honest, like I went with a group of people that made me have the worst experience of Hawaii ever.
What?
Yeah, like I had all these like I watch a lot of movies, so a lot of these movies that take place in Hawaii is like, damn, Hawaii is awesome, right? That's what I see from the movies. Like if you watch Home Alone 2, you'll think New York is awesome based off that movie, right? So I watched Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I'm like, damn, Hawaii is tight, right? So that's kind of like my thing of Hawaii. I watched Terrace House on Netflix, so I see Hawaii there. And I'm like, it's really nice. But when I went there in 2009, I went there with a bunch of friends that's from the scene, and it was the worst experience ever because, obviously we are gamers, right? And, it's my first time in Hawaii. I want to, like, go to a luau. I want to try all the food. I want to, like, just walk around, enjoy, like sitting, like, in a cabana, eating fruits, right? That's, like, kind of, like, what people do. And then everyone was just so boring. Like I think Dota 2 first came out in 2009, and like it came out as beta, and everyone in the hotel room like we were staying with just only wanted to play Dota 2. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, we're in Hawaii and you're just you guys are on your laptops just playing Dota 2, not wanting to go out. Like, no, we're not gonna go out. Like, we'll just go downstairs to the L&L Hawaiian barbecue for like lunch, dinner, breakfast, and all that good stuff.
What?
And then I know, right? So
wow, that's lame.
Like, I eventually just had to walk around by myself, and I was just so bored because it's like, I don't know, like, we're supposed to do this as a group, right? And then, I'm just walking around by myself, so I got kind of bored. And yeah, I would say that's kind of my only experience of Hawaii. I went to the arcade there. They had at the time, they had a Street Fighter 4 cab there, and then that was kind of it. Like, it was just really boring on my part. Like, I had some of the Hawaiian FGC players hit me up to come to my room and play for a little bit. So we did that. So, but even then, like, it's still inside a hotel room, right?
Yeah.
So literally, like, I'm telling you, it was shit. So that was my experience of Hawaii.
Oh well, man, if you ever come back out here, let me know. Hit me up, dude. I'll take you all over the island. Like, one of my friends actually just came. He's a YouTuber. He just came from Canada, from Vancouver, and I just took him all around. He's like, man, I thought we were just gonna chill at one little spot the whole time, or at your place. I was like, no, fuck that. You're here. You're experiencing Hawaii. Like, well, at least this island. I'm like, I can't take you anywhere else, but. Yeah, man, that's crazy. I'm sorry that was the experience you had.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but I always wanted to come back, and because I would say during 2009 I was very noob when it comes to like traveling or like not knowing how to like experience like life by myself when it comes to like when I'm in a different place or never been to a different place before. I would say now I'm more like an expert in terms of like, this is the places I need to go. This is where I want to go. This is where I need to sightsee. So it's definitely like, if I went to Hawaii now, I would be able to have fun by myself because I know what to look for now.
Okay.
But before, I had a terrible time because that was like, I didn't know what we were doing.
No, I had a similar situation like that happen to me when I went out to when I went to Louisiana. We went down to Bourbon Street, and all they wanted to do is just stay at this one bar. I'm like, yo, seriously? Like, and during Mardi Gras, I'm like, can we do something? They're like, nah, just want to chill. So
this is where the crowd's at.
Right?
That's it.
It's the three of us. That's it.
Yeah.
Man, man. You come out here next time, you're gonna have a good time. I'll make sure of that.
Okay.
But I did lie. I do have one final question that I will ask you if you're ready. Did you have fun?
Oh, with the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. It was just cool. It was like having just a regular conversation. It wasn't really just like an interview. It was just like, okay, like this is what I think. This is what you think, and we kind of went at it, and I think that was really cool about it.
Yeah, man, that's one of the things like I've tried to do with this podcast that separated from like others, like when it comes to like interviews. And I probably need to stop. I need to drop the whole interview aspect of it because I feel like with what I've seen a lot of people give interviews, and a lot of it's stilted or awkward. I'm like, man, fuck that. Let's just talk.
Yeah. Let's just talk. Why not?
But yeah, man, I'm glad you had a good time on the show, man. It's a true honor having a legend like yourself on here, man. I gotta give a big shout out to Rob from Insurgo for helping me get you on the show, man.
He's a good homie, man. He's definitely one of like my really really good friends.
Yeah, man, he's freaking awesome. But yeah, man, anything you got coming up that you want to plug, or you want to tell people again where they can find you? I'm gonna leave links to everything down below in the description.
Yeah, I mean, just come to twitter.com/jwong3gs, instagram.com/jwong3gs, and obviously follow my YouTube channel, which I'm really pushing really hard, youtube.com/Justin Wong. So I would say those three things are like the main thing in terms of like where people can find me. But I'll be going to final round, which is in Atlanta in the middle of March for like the first CPT tournament of the season. So other than that, I mean, just follow me on the social medias to know where I'm going to be at or what I'm doing next.
Awesome. So everyone, thank you guys for watching. Justin, thank you for coming on the show. And you'll be able to find this podcast. This episode will be up on youtube.com/Mikhail Kasanova. You can also find it on iTunes, Google Play Music, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, coming soon to iHeartRadio, coming soon also to Podcast One, and we will be up on Sirius FM. So with that being said, Justin, thank you so much for coming on the show. Stick around. I'm going to end this recording, but if you guys enjoyed this podcast and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us, the Kasanova Podcast, on the podcasting outlets, and make sure you go. This is prime directive here. Make sure you go and you subscribe to Justin's YouTube channel. Make sure you follow him on Twitch, on Twitter, on his Instagram. Stalk him everywhere, but don't stalk like that, Be civil stalking, But make sure you go and follow him on all his outlets. Links to everything is down below. And yeah, that's a wrap. Did you enjoy this episode of the Kasanova Podcast? Well, I hope you did. And if you did, please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And let us know what we can improve upon, what you liked, what you didn't like, and all that good stuff. And just make sure you always have a good time. That being said, this is your boy Mikhail Kasanova, Hawaii's favorite YouTuber. I am signing out, and I'll catch you on the next episode.